How's it going, everyone? Nick here from Gerofied.com, and in today's video we're checking out Dual Universe. If you haven't heard of Dual Universe before, it is the upcoming sci-fi MMORPG from Novaquark. It was kickstarted back in 2016 and has been in development since. Recently, over the past couple of months, they've actually lifted the NDA with Dual Universe beta being live. With that said, I thought I'd go through and check out some of the previous content that they've released, the official trailer, as well as the roadmap for Dual Universe and where it's going in future. So I've been playing Dual Universe for about a month at the moment. I did play a little bit in alpha, however, due to time constraints, I wasn't able to jump in as much as I have in beta. Beta, I've actually got together with a group of people and we've been able to create a small base with a space station on the way, and I've learned a lot of the mechanics and the basics of mechanics as to how to build a ship, how to mine, what the gameplay has to offer. I still have yet to experience some of the PvP elements that the game does have, however, it is something that I'm looking into going forward, but I'd want to go back to the start. I want to see and show everything that I can find from the official announcements and then build more content based on Dual Universe, teach maybe how I do mining, how others are doing mining, how to do certain industry things, how to build certain ships, how to understand some of the mechanics so you can build your own ships, because that's taken me such a long time to figure out and understand. But first, I'm going to jump into just what Dual Universe is and what it has to offer. So the big thing that Dual Universe and Novaquark is trying to do is make it a single shard world. If you play games like Minecraft, Ark, or Rust, usually they have instances of servers that have a cap of say 200 to 300 people. You can play those games with a larger quantity, however, the server infrastructure and the way that the games are set up, it starts to become a lot more difficult with the more people that get on. What Novaquark is trying to do is they're trying to put everything into a single shard, which means that no matter where you log in from, you will still be in the same world as everyone else. If you play games like Rust or Ark, you would have to jump servers for certain maps or features. However, with Dual Universe, you can actually go to any planet you can see on the map. And I'll go through that information a little bit later, but for now, I want to go through the key pillars and some of the information that Dual Universe has been promoting and seeing where they're up to and what things and features are coming in future. According to Novaquark, Dual Universe covers 6 key pillars. They include economy, exploration, combat, RPG, social, and building. We're going to break into some of these while I show some gameplay footage as well as the official trailer that has been released by Dual Universe. Everything inside of the game can technically be created by a player, whether it be a part for your ship, whether it be a part for your base, industry components, metalworks, forges, smelters, anything that you can think of that the game requires to run, players need, can be crafted or built by a player. There are elements and resources that are combined together to actually make ships, to actually make buildings, to actually make the gameplay kind of work together. And I won't go into shipbuilding for this particular topic, but the economy itself is quite robust. There are hundreds of thousands of items available in the game that you can create and that you can purchase, that you can trade with other players. So understanding the economy is going to be a really key factor as to how you progress in the game. Exploration is the second one. There is quite a large galaxy that is already available in beta. There are 6 habitable planets and each of them have moons, some of them up to 3. This is where you can actually land on each of these planets. You can actually go to each of these moons, and on each of these planets and moons there are actually hexes that you can claim for your territory. There's also a PvE friendly moon, which is where the starters and the starting players can go to, called Sanctuary. That will help with understanding and learning of the game so you don't lose things through PvP or through combat. So you start on a planet called Alioth, where the Ark ship has landed and you've been brought down onto this planet. And it's up to you to explore, find the right resources to then create your ship and actually get off of that planet. The third pillar that is inside of the game is combat. At the moment, there is some PvP elements, however, it's construct v construct and usually outside of a safe space. So there's a PvP zone, it's usually towards the outer rim planets, and that's where it is set up at the moment. and they're looking at doing atmospheric PvP and first-person PvP. However, we'll see how that progresses over time. If you've played EVE before, you'll get a general idea of how the combat is working at the moment. There's a kind of a lock and shoot system and mechanics set up. There may in future be alternate methods. However, the way they've got the systems currently working in beta is you can build your ships. You are actually able to have gunners and people on your ship doing repairs. You can actually have larger components, or you can go into a smaller ship by yourself and have enough firepower to harass or attack certain enemies. I'm really excited to see how combat evolves over time, and I really want to get involved with the larger scale PvP elements where it can be up to 20 to 30 players versing each other, even more once the servers and the game and developments and optimizations all come into play. The fourth thing that Dual Universe has to offer is the RPG element. If you have played EVE Online before, you'll understand the kind of talent system that they have available. You will have a range of different types of skills, from mining, industry, piloting, refining, and all of these kind of broken down into finite, more trainable skills. These talents are actually trained in real time, similar to EVE. You would schedule and queue certain talents, and over time, real time, they will actually accumulate and build up. Some of the earlier ones can take, as little as 5 to 10 minutes. However, once you get to a higher tier and higher level for certain talents, you're looking at days, you're looking at weeks to actually get to those talent trees and build that talent out even further. This shouldn't shy away from the game though. I think it gives an opportunity to develop over time. The thing that I would strongly urge and stress is, as you play, you get the basic talents, and then you figure out what is the gameplay that you're going to enjoy the most, and so you can spec into those talents over time. That's something that you won't know straight away, and it's still something that I'm not sure of. So it's going to be a process. It's going to be understanding how you play, understanding how the game works, and working together to see what talents do you need in order to get to that next stage. Just like with any other MMO, social is a massive component, especially when you've got guilds and companies and organizations all coming together or against each other to basically dominate the game. Dual Universe provides a great ecosystem to share these experiences with other players. I'm super excited to see what happens as we progress, how different organizations level up as you speak, what they do, the massive battles that are to come. If you've seen any EVE articles, you'll know that players drive that content. Players make the decisions. It is player-run warfare, player-run conspiracy inside of the game, player-run sabotage. It is all developed by the players themselves. They make the game, they make the story throughout the game. And I think that for the social aspect is going to provide some really interesting stories that come out of this game, whether it be published, whether it be recorded. I think we're going to see some massive battles in future. We're going to have organizations, large and small, competing for space, competing for territory. It will just develop over time. I'm really excited to see all of these come together. And the sixth pillar that Dual Universe has to offer is building. If you haven't seen some of the screenshots, gameplay footage, or any other already, you might not know that there is a voxel system and engine with a massive amount of tools to actually create whatever it is you need. There's a term floating around and coined voxelmancy as to how you actually create, manipulate, and build objects with inside of Dual Universe using voxels. Combination with the voxels and the ship components, you can actually create shapes, small ships. You can create land cruisers, space stations, and massive buildings, even entire cities with just this voxel system alone. It doesn't work like Minecraft where you would place a square at a time. This you can actually manipulate vertices if you have the understanding of what a voxel is, what its pace parameters are, and pace priority. There's a lot of tutorials on that already, and I have yet to dive into what all of that means. I'm still looking at it from a base level. So I'm really excited to see how players build and what they have the ability to build, and actually getting in some designs myself. This was just a basic overview of Dual Universe and what it currently has to offer in the beta. There are a lot of different things coming out with roadmaps, announcements, updates almost every week at the moment, so I'm going to try to keep updated as much as I can while sharing some tutorials on mining, building, and any other components that come into the game. So if you're interested in following along, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm Nick from Gerofied.com, and we'll catch you next time.